welcome to my very first gardening vlog ever. This vlog is going to be part one, planning and research. So this year I decided that I wanted to play around with gardening, and I literally have never done this in my life. I felt very confused starting this journey. I'm going to insert a clip now that is from me in the beginning of February, just kind of like the first day I really was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So let's watch that first. Okay, hi guys. Today is February 3rd. So we're very early in this growing season, but today's the first day that I actually did anything related to this project of learning how to grow things. And what I did today was I basically wrote down a list of, don't mind this, but I wrote down a list of the things that I want to grow this year personally. So I know that based on my diet, I feel like I would really enjoy these things. I don't want to buy a plant and then just transplant it. I want to grow it from seed. I probably won't be starting the process until next month. It's just beginning of Feb, so I'll probably start germinating seeds in the beginning of March. So I will order them at some point. But yeah, that is the first step to this. I've never done this before. As soon as I decided that this was something I wanted to do, I spent a few hours online just researching as much as I could. In this video, I want to make that research process easier for you based on what I sifted through and felt was important. So I am going to go through that with you in this section called planning and research. First step is, what seeds do you want to plant? So I'm also going to pop up a little chart and graphic that you can copy into your notebook or something, because this is the information that you need to identify and figure out before you take any actions. After you figure out what seeds you want to plant, you have to figure out what the last frost date is in your region. So you can look this up on Google. I'm in Southern Ontario, and basically the last frost date is, on average, when was the last time that temperatures went under 0 degrees Celsius. You need to know the last frost date because that's how you know it's safe to transplant your plants that you started indoors outside, because if you put them outside too early and a frost comes in, it can kill your plants. So you have to know when the average last frost date is in your area, because that can help you determine when you need to start your seeds indoors and when it's safe to transplant them outside. So that's on the chart as well. Figure that out for yourself. I found this really great guide from the Incredible Seed company. It's a free PDF in the description of this video, and it basically goes through pretty much any vegetable that you can think of. It's got the most important information related to growing that vegetable from seed listed in that document. So go ahead and either use that or just search it up. So based on the seeds that you want to plant, figure out when you need to start those. For example, so I want to do these tomatoes. It says that I need to start them indoors 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. So I know that my last frost date is mid-May. It's I think the date is May 10th. So I have to calculate backwards what's 6 to 8 weeks from May 10th backwards to figure out when I am to plant that. So everything that you want to start, literally figure out what date you need to start those based on the last frost, and then mark it in your calendar. That's what I did. I marked it in my calendar because basically I then had everything mapped out, because there's some the pepper seeds, for example, I needed to start them very early, 6 to 10 weeks before last frost. So those were the first ones, and then a few weeks later I have to start tomato, and then after that the rest, because different things require different germination times and indoor growing times. So yeah, that is basically what you need to know. So now that you have everything in like a document or in your notebook or something, you have all of the dates that you need to start the things, you can now focus on gathering materials. So the basic materials that you need are you need soil, you need pots, you need seeds, water, and sunlight. So for me, like light is like super important to the success of your growing. Luckily, I have this balcony area that you'll see in the next vlog that gets the most sunlight on this entire property, and I get to use that whole area this year. So I know that I am able to grow vegetables like tomatoes and peppers and stuff, things that need a lot of sun. If I didn't have sun, those things wouldn't grow. Okay. And like I feel like I see a lot of people being like, I'm so bad at gardening, like none of my things grow. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's literally just like you have to have the basics, you have to have the sunlight. You can't put your tomato plant in a shady spot and then expect it to thrive. Because it needs the light to grow, you know? I know there's plants that you can plant that don't need as much light, and you can research that on your own. Pick your seeds based on your lighting conditions. And then I'm doing pots this year. I didn't want to use a seed starting tray because I, first of all, didn't need to start that many seeds, and also I am using a indoor grow light that I got from this like herb growing kit that we got one year for Christmas that we never used. So that indoor grow light is going to help my seedlings grow before it gets warm enough to be moved outside into the sun after last frost. So I got these, instead of a tray, I got these small pots because it would fit under that grow light. Soil, I got some organic soil from Canadian Tire. Organic felt important to me. And I also, a lot of people like use seed starting soil when they start their seeds because it's labeled like that. But in my research online, I learned that you have to make sure that it has fertilizer in it because once the seeds sprout, they need nutrients to get big and strong, like all of us. But some seed starting soils don't have that nutrient. And the difference I've learned between seed starting soil and regular potting mix is that regular potting mix has like a lot of bigger pieces like twigs and maybe like rock type things, like just big obstructive objects in potting mix that can make it hard for like a small delicate seedling to push through. I didn't want to buy seed starting soil and potting mix for later, so I just bought potting mix, and you'll see in the next video I just used a sieve to sift out the big chunks of stuff in the soil, and it's worked great for me. So that's that. And then you just need water and seeds. I just went online. The first place was the Incredible Seeds company, and that's where I got the cilantro seeds. And then my tomato and peppers I got from this like small business called Scoville Canada, and they have such a amazing variety of really freaking cool tomato species and all these like the coolest peppers ever. So I bought a few of those from there. And then I really wanted to grow Thai chilies, but I couldn't find Thai chilies on either of the websites that I was ordering the other seeds from. So I'm going to clip in this next little clip so you can kind of see my journey with the Thai chilies. I couldn't find Thai chilies anywhere, and Thai chilies are like the chilies that I eat the most. But I do have like a bag of Thai chilies that I got from my parents. And I was like, wait, why don't I just literally, instead of buying seeds, like why don't I just try to see if I can grow it from these seeds? I watched like a little YouTube video of this lady saying that if you have a green pepper, this is basically like an unripe chili. The seeds aren't mature enough to sprout or germinate, but she showed a trick where you basically cut the top part of it and then leave it in the window, and it should ripen and then dry out, and then you can plant and germinate, start those seeds as normal. So we're going to do that right now. Didn't quite work out. I think I have a clip of this. If I do, I'll put it in. Basically, that green Thai chili, it kind of just dried out and never ripened to red, so that was kind of a fail. But on the day of, like you'll see in my next video, I actually, Garrett's mom Judy had given me like red Thai chilies from the grocery store that are fully ripe, like red. And so I just used that. And spoiler alert, it worked, but that will be covered in the next video. The last thing I want to talk about was like light and heat mat. This is for indoor seating. Excuse me. There's something called a seedling heat mat. It's like a rubber mat with some heated wires in the middle. You plug it in and it creates like a nice consistent heat. And you basically put your seed trays or your pots or whatever you started your seeds in on top of that, and it warms up the soil. So this isn't really necessary for every single vegetable. There's some things that need heat. Like for example, peppers. Peppers, they grow in warm climates, and I'm in Canada. And so they need warm soil to germinate. Their seeds need that warmth to like activate the sprouting process. And so at first, like you'll see in the next video, I never started off with the seed mat. I was like, it'll be fine. But then I, a few days later, got one because I just felt like they needed it. So yeah, and then the other thing is like a UV light. So in grow light, you can get these on Amazon for like $20. I didn't initially think that it would be that important. But then the more research that I did, the more I learned about like, I mean, I feel like you could do it by just putting your pots in like a window and that might be enough light, but it might create like leggy seedlings, which are basically seedlings that kind of grow too tall and their stems become super skinny because they're trying to reach for the light. So to prevent all that, I was like, I'm just going to pull out that grow light. And if I didn't have that, I would have honestly just bought that $20 grow light because it's important to me. Like I want these things to succeed. So yeah, I recommend both of those things. Well, heat mat only if you need, like if you're growing peppers or something. But yeah, so okay, that's it for the starting video. I wasn't gonna even make this, but then I was like, you know what, I did put in a lot of hours into the research process and maybe it can help someone not have to put those same hours in. So yes, hopefully this helped. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And I'm super excited to upload the next vlog.